I guess we'll just get started. If you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into music.
So I'm Kim Walker. I'm the director of the School of Music, and when I was 5 to 8, I was in love with music, playing clarinet and piano, and then saxophone and double bass and cello, and I loved everything about all the instruments. I found every creative way to be in an orchestra or a band, and avoid going to mathematics and biology that you can think of. Luckily, I was pretty much a straight A student, so I was given a lot of liberty that way. And I think you'll find a lot of musicians are very intelligent. At least they have specific areas that they excel in. We also learn very quickly how to, in the next 15 minutes, make the most amount of progress with the task at hand, which means problem solving is an inherent strategic part of our thought process from age 5. And so how that plays out in terms of school may be unpredictable. I've heard of people that had terrible academic results but were very brilliant, and the moment you said unless you get a GPA of this, you're out, it would go straight to the top. So it's again of what they chose to apply their capacity with and looking forward to. So that being said, I age 14 basically left home and went off to Interlochen Arts Academy, and within 3 years was at Curtis Institute of Music playing bassoon. I
Wow.
always thought I was going to be a cellist, but the world put me in line with bassoons and great bassoon teachers. And before I realized that I'd made a fateful choice, I was playing string quartets and then bassoon in the orchestra. Suddenly, you're a bassoonist. And there was that moment you think, oh my gosh, will I ever get a job? There's like 8 cello players in every orchestra to 18, and there's only 2 to 4 bassoonists. What a dumb choice. And then, um, the next part of it was really, well, what are you going to do? Is this what you love? And suddenly, by 19, I was the first woman in the London Symphony. And they think the big thing was I was so lucky with all the teachers I studied with, and at a precocious age, if I can put it that way. And so I didn't put any false steps left, right, or center.
Mhm.
And I was at growing up in a time when there were no women in those major orchestras. And I even went to London to study with a very famous bassoonist when I was 14. And he said, well, do they really have women in orchestras in New York? I've heard that bizarre process has begun. And,
Wow.
I'm not that old. I'm not a dinosaur yet. But this was still new. And when I started in the London Symphony, I was, new kid on the block. I had to behave. There wasn't a ladies' toilet
Oh,
backstage.
wow.
And so if I, had that urge, I had to like run out into the public, seating and then find my way back. You've
Oh
got
my
a
gosh.
20-minute break in the orchestra. You got to get there and back. It was funny. So, but I was very lucky playing with great musicians, learning with great musicians. And so when I got to TTU and I find, we have other players who've been to Curtis, who've been to Juilliard. We have also the finest band traditions that don't have anything to do with Juilliard or Curtis. So we've got a very diverse program here. It's exceptional in so many dimensions. But it all goes back to music education. My music education teacher, Becky Erlenbach, Rebecca Erlenbach, um, if she hadn't started getting me to play the clarinet and then the bass clarinet and then the cello, knowing that by age 7 or 8 I was smitten, and then getting me to play in the high school bands when I was in junior high, only music educators think like that. And
Mhm.
she really was the start of it all. And to this day, when I wrote a big tutor book about it all, I've sent her a copy, and you revere those people. And so to be in a school where we have so many people aspiring to be those first contact musical experiences in people's lives, it's awesome. And as you know, we have virtually 100% success rate for employment for our music education students. And I see why. The program is comprehensive, it's diverse, there are experts in every part of it. They're dedicated to making sure that the students are enormously well prepared. And so it's not that we're not being progressive, we are the pioneers of this whole piece of it. And so now, when we had to, in 2 weeks or less, change 400 years of how we teach music, literally, boom. Music education is up and running. They've been using smart technology and music first programs for some time now. So literally, that part was seamless. We've felt the challenge, like everyone else, is the one-on-one, that being in the room with somebody, that kinesthetic understanding you get as a teacher, and you said breathe lower in your back, or oh no, hold it differently, or your muscles are too tense. We don't have the opportunity to have all of those conversations in the same way.